Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Sold Sign Real Estate Unplugged. We are your favorite hosts and realtors, Lauren
and Naya.
and we are so happy that you are back with us for another episode. Let's get into this week's story.
All right. So, this is about a couple who buys a home together. They were super excited as they toured various properties and they eventually found a cozy 2-bedroom bungalow in a vibrant neighborhood. It seemed perfect for hosting friends and building a life together. After some back and forth, they made an offer, and to their delight, it was accepted. As the closing date got near, reality set in. While one partner was ecstatic about the future, the other began to feel a little uneasy. This is because the couple was not married. So, one partner, feeling like the practical one in the relationship, thought of what might go wrong. What if they break up? Who would get the home? How would they handle the mortgage? So, they began to ask those questions, and they raised valid concerns that the other partner hadn't really considered. So the other partner, on the other hand, was more focused on the positive aspects. We love each other. We can make this work. We're in this together. But as they signed the paperwork, the hesitant partner just couldn't shake the feeling that they were rushing into something big without having an open conversation about what it all meant. The day of closing arrived, and they felt a mix of excitement and tension. As they signed the final documents, the gravity of their decision weighed heavily on the both of them. Were they committing to something that should ideally come with a marriage license, or was this simply a logical next step for their relationship? Stepping outside into the sunlight after closing, they exchanged nervous smiles, but the underlying anxiety lingered. Had they made a sound decision? Were they setting themselves up for future complications? Well, what do you think?
I love this story.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because we bought not married, but we didn't buy together. So one person bought and then the other person paid all the bills. No, one person purchased and just putting their name on it, and then we both split the all the bills. So it just happened to work out. I don't see anything wrong with it personally, because I kind of feel like the two big things that come with getting married is buying a house and having a kid. It seems like most people are having kids without getting married, so why can't you buy a house at the same time? I mean, at least you're going to get some type of money back in return for it.
Because it's an investment.
It's an investment.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. I know people who have bought a house together, not married as well, later got married. So like you said, I think it's an investment. And if you're at that stage in your relationship, I think I'm all for it. Of course, there's different ways you can do it, like the way that you did it. There's different types of ownership if you are concerned about, how we will split something, if we do decide to sell it. And just that in itself, I'm not going to say that you should just buy something and know that you can just sell it. But at the end of the day, if y'all ended up not being together in the longer term, you could just sell it. Yes, it would be a little now we have to sell, but you were probably going to sell at some point anyway to, upgrade or, move on and expand, whatever. So it's not the end of the world is what I'm trying to say. If it makes sense for you and makes sense for the both of you and it's a good investment and a next step, and you've talked about it enough this couple talked about it enough to, they started asking questions later, but y'all done got pre-approved, y'all done started looking, y'all have had some conversations before looking at the houses. So and
now you're nervous.
Yeah, now you're nervous, but I think it's, I think there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it if it works for you. I do want to, so there is there's sole ownership, which is one individual owns the property outright. And this person is the one. So there are different types of ownership that you can consider if you are purchasing with somebody that can, help you if you feel like, okay, well, how would we split this up if we needed to later on? So the first type of ownership is sole ownership. So this is just when one individual owns the property like outright. So this person is responsible for mortgage payments, taxes, and maintenance. But like, I don't think it has to be maintenance because everybody can pitch in for that.
Right. Yeah.
But basically the mortgage and the taxes, you are the sole person responsible for that. Then there is joint tenancy, and this is when two or more people own the property together with equal rights. So this could be something that you could consider. If one owner were to pass away, then their share of the property automatically transfers to the surviving owners. So that could be one to consider. Tenancy in common is when multiple owners share in the property, which may or may not be equal. So with joint, it's like it's split with however evenly down the line between however many people there are. But with tenancy in common, everybody has a share, but it might not be 50-50 or whatever. If one owner dies, their share goes to whoever they have named as their heirs, not the other owners. So that's the difference there. Community property, in some states, any property that's acquired during marriage is considered community property, and it's owned equally by both spouses. So consider that. This applies to properties purchased during a domestic partnership in some jurisdictions too. So
That's
and some of y'all are in a domestic partnership.
Yes.
Condo ownership, so the owners hold title to the individual units. We know, if you own a condo, that's how it is. Co-ops, this won't apply to you. Well, it could apply if you buy in a co-op community. So for co-ops, these residents don't own their individual units. Instead, they own shares in a cooperation that owns the building. There's a co-op community in Greenbelt. Have you ever seen that one?
Oh, from the highway?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've seen that. Yeah, right.
That's the one that always comes to mind locally. But there's leasehold ownership. So this person holds a lease on a property for a specific period of time, but doesn't own the land itself. And when that lease expires, ownership of the property reverts to the landowner. Then there's real estate investment trust. There is shared equity ownership. This is where multiple parties invest in a property together. Generally, one person might own a larger share. And then lastly, trust ownership. So this is when a property is held in a trust. So that's a long list of different ownership ones. I think the most ones fitting that you like would want to sort out potentially would be maybe joint tenancy. So it's like split with equal rights, or community property when you acquire property during marriage. So
yeah, I think those are like the main ones. Tenancy in common, I feel like if you have like multiple people, you have like three people, and let's say it's three people, then you have a couple and then you have one other person. So the couple may own more. They're not married, but the couple may own more than that other, than the third party person. Right. So, but if for whatever reason somebody dies, when it comes to tenancy in common, then it goes to, like Naya said, their heirs. So it goes to their children. It's not going to the other owners. Right. Other owners may not like that. So that's something to think about. Yeah, to talk about. That's great because I didn't know all of these. Yeah, I was missing one of them. I don't think I knew the shared equity ownership. Yeah, which is pretty dope.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, I wanted to run some stats.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, yes. Give us the stats
really
please.
Quick. So, back to the whole, like, obviously what we're talking about and being married or not being married and whether or not you should own something with somebody knowing that you're not married. And I feel like the guy had a really, like, he it was fair for him to be like, what if we break up? What if this happens? Like, there's so many what ifs, but what if it works out? What if everything is good? So you always have like somebody that's positive in a relationship, somebody that's negative. So really quick, let's talk about some age demographics because we are in our millennial stage. So many unmarried couples buying homes are in their late 20s to early 30s, And a study from Zillow, y'all know how we feel about Zillow, but whatever, found that 30% of millennials ages 25 to 40 live with a partner without being married. And many are opting to buy homes together. It's probably cheaper too, but also financial stability. Unmarried couples often cite financial reasons for buying a home together. Bankrate, who I trust 100%, revealed that about 45% of unmarried couples view homeownership as a way to establish financial stability and build equity. And that could be with yourself. Like, even if y'all decide to break up, like, you still could be like, oh yes, like, I've owned a home. You could take some money away from the equity because y'all were in that house for, a few years. But I feel like these are very good stats that, yeah, like, go for it. If you have been in a relationship and you feel like it could possibly work out like 50-50, then buy it. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt. Like Naya said, you can always sell it. I mean, because you're just renting, you're kind of just giving them money. It's not like you can walk away with anything. So then you break up, you walk away from a relationship, and you don't have a partner or a place because, or any money or equity because you were renting the whole time and now you don't have any funds. So, yeah.
So, yeah. I think y'all should just go ahead and do it. There's nothing wrong with doing it. It's an investment, and it plants a seed for whichever direction your future goes, hopefully together. But just in case, if it doesn't, you still can hopefully walk away with something. So
I wonder if this is like a millennial thing. Like, I wonder if like Gen Z and Gen Y or Gen X, whatever, the one under us and before us, like how they would feel and how they did things. Because I feel like our parents wouldn't be agreeing with I don't think they would do that. But I wonder.
I don't think it was like how it's being done so much now, and like it's a question and like it's a consideration. I feel like it wasn't even. No.
It's just no. Right. There was no conversation.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a question that you asked before.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're not married? No. But I feel like goals have changed. Marriage not necessarily is always the goal right now. I feel like for millennials, marriage is not the goal. Homeownership be the goals. Career are the goals. Like, getting married right now just aren't the goals where it was back then. It's like, so okay, true. Yeah, but right now I don't think that's the number one goal, especially of millennials.
And, previously, well, at some point, women couldn't even buy homes on their own.
Yeah.
But, with men kind of, traditionally being like I'll say men were usually always traditionally like head of household, buying the home, doing those things.
Yep.
And, now women are leading in home ownership, like single, doing it on their own.
Yep.
So it's just different all around. And I think people are, okay with that and thinking of creative ways to buy homes. Right. And, like you said, even if you are married or not married and you're in a relationship, one person can buy, even though you wholeheartedly know that you're moving along together. Like, whatever it is, you can be creative and like ask questions and do things differently now that you definitely probably wouldn't consider or ask before.
Right.
So like friends even buy homes together or just an investment property together. Like, people are just, I think, thinking outside of the box a little bit more and doing what works for them.
Yes, and not anyone else.
Yes.
Like, if it works for you, it works for you.
Do it.
It's all about y'all and you in that moment. It's not about anybody else and what they think and their opinions. So.
Yeah.
I think that was great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode. Please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us on any podcast platform, Instagram, TikTok as well. So please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.